Hello and welcome to the news on NTA International. You can watch this news on Vision TV 247 and other social media platforms displayed on your screen. I am Nancy Godi Angonehu, and on sign language is Ruth Ozoma. And first, the headlines. Federal government engages development finance institutions to create 2.5 million decent jobs annually. Nigeria, World Health Organization and other partners intensify efforts to combat malaria. Plus, 155 dead, 236 injured as torrential rains hit Tanzania. President Bola Tinubu says Nigeria is well positioned to power the clean energy future of Europe and the world with its high-grade lithium deposits. Speaking during a meeting with Prime Minister Mark Rutte of the Netherlands at his official residence in The Hague on Thursday, the president said Nigeria offers immense opportunities across a pool of sectors and that his administration is deepening reforms to enhance the investment climate. He said Nigeria seeks robust, balanced and mutually beneficial partnerships that will bring about value addition in areas like solid minerals. President Tinubu says, taking a holistic view of the world order, there is a tremendous opportunity between both nations across trade spheres, but especially in solid minerals, where high-grade lithium deposits abound. As part of measures to tackle poverty and insecurity, the federal government is engaging stakeholders to unveil a roadmap for integrating unbanked Nigerian population into the formal financial system. The two-day workshop declared open by Vice President Kashim Shettima aims at sensitizing stakeholders and charting a course for accelerating financial inclusion efforts. State House correspondent Abdulrahman Jibrila reports.
In recognition of this imperative, I am proud to announce that part of our agenda today involves the signing of the ASO Accord for Economic and Financial Inclusion.
This is the signing of the agreement termed ASO Accord for Economic and Financial Inclusion with state governments and other key stakeholders in the private sector as part of efforts to actualize a delivery of financial services at affordable cost to all Nigerians.
The testament to our determination to dismantle these intergenerational obstacles lies in the reality that a significant segment of our populace lacks access to a diverse array of affordable financial services. We are also aware that a fundamental driver of this disparity is the pervasive issue of low income. This poses a threat to the security and stability of the nation.
For us to be able to go very far in getting majority of our people to be captured, the technological environment has to be further strengthened.
One of the things that we commit ourselves to in order that we can alleviate the pains of adjustments, the pains of reform immediately, is that we commit to making sure we have 100% financial inclusion as far as payments are concerned.
The concept is to integrate equality and accessibility of financial services, charging stakeholders to ensure that no one should be left behind by adopting new strategies and models of meeting the set targets.
At the time we started, we set certain targets for 2020, which clearly have not yet been achieved. And I hope that when we listen to the central bank, we'll see where we are and how long it will take us to get to those targets.
One of the expected takeaways from this event is therefore to go behind the growth numbers and interrogate the rise of the gender gap from 8 to 9%.
Financial inclusion stands as a cornerstone of socio-economic development, advancing access to finance to every Nigerian.
26% of Nigerians, they are financially excluded, as well as 36% are equally unbanked at the moment. And please recall that we had a target of achieving 95% by the year 2024. Here we are in 2024, but at the same time we still have a little gap.
The workshop is set to unveil a comprehensive roadmap towards the shared goal of financial inclusion, a critical pillar of the Tinubu administration's economic agenda. From the State House, Abraham Jibrila, NTA News.
The Ministry of Labour and Employment has commenced engagement with development finance institutions to create 2.5 million decent jobs for Nigerians annually. It was at the unveiling of the ministry's Renewed Hope Empowerment Program, where the Minister of State for Labour and Employment, Nkiruka Onyeji-Ocha, was emphatic on eradicating poverty in the next 4 years. Ignatius Nkwo was there.
On the 29th of February, the Minister of State for Labour and Employment, Nkiruka Onyeji-Ocha, announced the ministry's initiative to launch a program that will fundamentally drive President Bola Tinubu's job creation agenda. Less than 3 months after, the program has been unveiled. Labour and Employment Empowerment Program, LEAP. The minister was clear on the target of the 6-point poverty eradication program.
What's the mandate of Labour Ministry? Number one is to make sure that poverty is reduced, if not completely eradicated. I dream that under our watch, with your support, that it's possible to eradicate poverty. Then also to create employment. Job creation is very key.
As far as I'm concerned, we've been developing policies, geared towards providing direction for the ministry and for the nation as a whole. I want specific commitments.
The framework of the program aligned with the objectives of the development finance institutions, and that made it an easy buy.
The key thing there is to make sure that in areas where there is lots of institutions, private sector, public sector, international development partners and international organizations working together, it's the need for coordination.
Where or Distinct is one of the best tools globally for job matching and using AI to match people to jobs.
So not everybody will accept to learn digital skills. Some will prefer other vocational skills.
As the flagship program of the ministry, it is also expected to reinvigorate technical and vocational education in Nigeria. Ignatius Nkwo, NTA News.
In an effort to achieve global health equity, Nigeria, in collaboration with the World Health Organization and other partners, have intensified efforts to combat Nigeria and malaria within its borders. Uche Ugochukwu reports that this was brought to the fore as the country celebrates the 24th World Malaria Day with the theme Accelerating the Fight Against Malaria for a More Equitable World.
Nigeria, burdened with malaria for decades, has been intensifying efforts to eliminate and control the disease through multiple strategies of prevention, treatment, and community engagement. Malaria remaining a leading cause of morbidity and mortality, especially among under 5 children and pregnant women, these efforts underscore the government's commitment to combating the public health challenge. With the slogan, "Let's change the narrative now," Nigerian government, supported by various partners, promised to do more.
More needs to be done because now we have what we call the perfect storm that is facing also resistance against our medications, resistance against our commodities.
Through robust surveillance, innovative interventions, and certain health systems, we've saved countless lives and reduced untold suffering.
We are working to empower every person, community, and country to be an equal, valued, and essential partner in the fight against malaria.
Please be assured that our collective work in building up a more equitable future that will be malaria-free is assured.
The concerted efforts are aimed at improving access to quality healthcare services, particularly in rural and underserved areas where malaria incidence is highest. Uche Ugochukwu, NTA News.
Food security guarantees a stable society and helps lay the foundation for the economic prosperity of any nation. It also creates opportunities for professionals to advance their knowledge on innovation and technology, a reason the Nigerian Society of Engineers is tasking its members to take the bull by the horns. Kevin Ewunwaye reports.
Food insecurity is one of the many challenges facing Nigeria at the moment. Beyond policy rollout, government must now incorporate professionals in agricultural innovation and research space into the entire food production ecosystem in a way that indigenous engineers can play their roles in machinery fabrication and maintenance to guarantee effective agric mechanization in the country. This public lecture series by the Nigerian Society of Engineers Buhari branch is therefore aggregating conversations on the way forward.
You cannot have national security if you don't have food security. That's the strong point that we must keep in mind here.
To guarantee food security in the country, we will have been able to solve so many problems. You have seen the opportunities that are there, the opportunities that are bound, while we are able to provide national food security in the country.
The lecture is part of the branch effort to stimulate discussions on the current challenges facing the country and finding solutions to them in the context of engineering. In Abuja, Kelvin Ewunwaye, NTA News.
Authorities in Egypt are applying a comprehensive strategy for self-sufficiency in strategic wheat production. Like thousands of other farmers, Mohammed Abdelrahman is working with government experts to increase wheat harvest from his 105 acres of land.
Authorities in Egypt are applying a comprehensive strategy for self-sufficiency in the strategic wheat commodity. Like thousands of other farmers, Mohammed Abdelrahman is working with government experts to increase wheat harvest from his 105 acres of land.
I have been supplied with the new Giza seeds, which saves water consumption and increases the harvest to the highest production level per acre I have ever achieved.
Egypt consumes an average of 18 million tons of wheat per year, which is mainly used to bake bread, the country's staple food. Local wheat production stands at around 3.5 million tons, while the country imports an average 13.5 million tons a year, making it one of the largest wheat importers worldwide. The government has been trying to increase the local output from farmers in order to reduce the import bill every year. The state has planted 3 million fadans, or approximately 3.1 million acres of wheat in the desert to increase production. Authorities have also raised the price for purchasing wheat from farmers this year to make it more lucrative for others to grow the cereal. Officials are also upgrading farming mechanisms to improve the harvest season.
The state is supporting the farmers in all stages. First with the upgraded seeds, then with the laser cultivation technology that costs $4.19 instead of $20.90 if they hire labor. We also provide new equipment and fertilizers at subsidized costs to help them increase production.
To reduce dependence on imports, the government says it's targeting local wheat production to account for 56% of total consumption by 2026, up from 45% in 2021.
Talking natural disaster now, Tanzania's Prime Minister Kassim Majaliwa says flash floods caused by ongoing torrential rains have left 155 dead and 236 others injured. Charles Alpha brings us the details.
The Prime Minister says flash floods have been reported in 14 out of the 26 regions in mainland Tanzania, affecting 200,000 people and damaging 10,000 houses in the capital, Dodoma. He said school infrastructure, farm crops, roads, bridges, health facilities and livestock were impacted by the floods. The Prime Minister says government has taken steps aimed at preventing further catastrophic situations, like ordering the closure of schools in areas severely affected by the floods. The Tanzanian National Roads Agency, the Tanzanian Road and Urban Road Agency and the Tanzanian Railway Corporation have been ordered to undertake an urgent assessment of damaged roads and railways for immediate renovation. The heavy rains influenced by El Nino conditions, are expected to last through May, according to the Tanzanian Meteorological Authority. Charles Alpha, NTA News.
You're watching the news on NTA International. We take a break and return in a moment.
I don't know what your dream is. To live your dream requires unwavering passion. But if your passion burns true, you will defy the skeptics.
And captivate countless souls.
It's 1,000% yes.
The world will never be the same.
That is how you do it.
Because you dared to dream. This is Nigerian Idol.
Catch the premiere of Nigerian Idol Season 9, starting 21st of April, 7 p.m. West African time. Nigerian Idol, exclusive to DSTV and GoTV.
Nigerian Idol is proudly sponsored by Techno, Stop at Nothing, and Biggie, For Every Moment.
Thanks for staying with us. European leaders have lauded tougher migration policies as more people die on treacherous sea crossings. Charles Alpha reports that police in Cyprus are patrolling the island nation's eastern coast to thwart boats loaded with Syrian refugees.
With pivotal June election for the European Parliament getting closer, scenes of despair and tragedy are complicating efforts to open a new chapter in Europe's migration policy. As the European Union and countries across the 27-member bloc adopt tougher measures on migrants, politicians largely focus on the need to police human trafficking and smuggling rather than the human drama playing out at sea. Human rights organizations have for years warned that tougher policies and police crackdowns are not deterring migration, but driving desperate people to attempt life-threatening journeys across treacherous waters, which thousands have paid with their lives. On Tuesday, Tunisia's Coast Guard recovered 19 bodies near a section of the country's coastline known as a primary point of departure for boats taking off for Italy. Similarly, 5 smugglers were arrested on human trafficking charges, authorities said. Tunisia has already intercepted about 21,000 migrants trying to cross the sea to Europe this year. Human trafficking charges in Tunisia carry a prison sentence of up to 20 years. In France, 5 people, including a 7-year-old child, died Tuesday while trying to cross the English Channel and reach the United Kingdom, just as after the British government approved a law allowing the deportation of some migrants who entered the country illegally to Rwanda. Charles Alpha, NTA News.
And from that EU report, we come back to Nigeria, where the Not Too Young to Run national policy has provided the platform for youths to prove their courage in all spheres of life, including the political arena. This is the view of young Nigerians at the United Nations Economic and Social Council ECOSOC Forum at the UN House, Abuja. Frama Paini reports.
This meeting, which was the convergence of young people, provided the opportunity to highlight some of the challenges which the youth have been passing through, while canvassing necessary support and platform to be part of the decisions-making process. The youths appealed to the nation's forebearers to give adequate direction for the realization of their future goals.
A little bit of a shift, from achieving the SDGs, but one thing is for sure, as we continue to organize forums like this, as we continue to organize committees, galvanize young people, the idea is to rejig the thinking system of governments across the world to ensure that we achieve the SDGs by 2030.
Youth possess so much strength in terms of the knowledge that they have to drive change in their communities and in sectors that they belong to.
How do you expect a graduate who is just finishing school to have 5 years working experience, and then that means that person would get the job? So I believe that organizations need to actually reconsider these application strategies and requirements.
The objectives align with that of the 2024 High-Level Political Forum on reinforcing the 2030 Agenda and eradicating poverty in times of multiple crises, the effective delivery of sustainable, resilient, and innovative solutions. The need to increase connectivity and networking was also emphasized on the ECOSOC agenda, pointing out that as a way of changing the narrative, digital skills must be put on the front burner. Frama Pani, NTA News.
The Nigerian Institute of Public Relations, NIPR, has inducted graduates, associates and regular, as well as honorary fellowship members into the institute with a mandate to uphold the highest professional standards and build the ecosystem of shared policy of the institute. Director General of the Nigerian Television Authority, the NTA, Salihu Abdulhamid Dembos, is among those decorated with the honorary fellowship of NIPR at the ongoing Public Relations Week in Abuja, Ogun State. Yemi Dalemo reports.
The 110th Annual General Meeting of the Nigerian Institute of Public Relations, which saw the convergence of PR professionals, fellows, policymakers, as well as leaders of the industry and other stakeholders, provided the opportunity for the admission of students into the institute under the Young Professionals Hub. 53 associate members of the institute also took their oath of allegiance administered on them by the registrar of the institute and were formally inducted by the president and chairman of council NIPR, Dr. Ike Neliaku.
Congratulations.
The president also decorated 16 regular fellows of the institute in recognition of their selfless service to NIPR, among whom is a visually impaired recipient, Sir Oluwole Falodun, from the Lagos chapter. Director General of the Nigerian Television Authority, NTA, who is also the chairman of BON, Malam Abdulhamid Dembos, Ambassador Jake Ekpele, a global disability rights advocate, Reverend Ladi Thompson, as well as Chief Lawrence Scott Emuakpo, were all decorated and conferred with the prestigious Conscience of the Institute Award, which is the honorary fellowship members of NIPR for earning the trust and promoting objectives and ideals of NIPR in the country.
I would like to assure the NIPR of our total support, lead by example, and in our various workplace, we will do everything possible to make sure that we exhibit nothing but excellence.
President of NIPR, Dr. Ike Neliaku, charged the new inductees and fellows of the institute to always uphold the highest professional standards and key into the value addition approach of the institute, which is in line with the renewed hope agenda of the current administration.
We believe that the institute should be run as an enterprise to apply creativity, deploy innovation, ensure more prudence, expand our revenue base, streamline operational structure, inspire and motivate staff to work as entrepreneurs.
The NIPR president announced that NIPR is establishing a finishing school modeled in line with the Nigerian Law School to produce thoroughbred and certified professionals, which is a precursor to the establishment of Public Relations University in Nigeria, among other laudable approaches to further place the practice in line with the international best practices. In Abuja, Yemi Dalemo, NTA.
Moving on to gender development, the need for strong female role models in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics STEM careers has been stressed as professional women engineers of Nigeria join in celebrating the 2024 International Day of Girls in ICT. Hamman Jabane reports.
Women are believed to fill 40% of high-skilled occupations globally. Their participations in ICT-related fields continues to be low and are nearly absent from software development, engineering, technology, research, and the academia, as well as at the highest levels of policy making, which tend to leave science and technology jobs at higher rates for men. These, among other issues, took center stage at this year's celebration of the International Day for Girls in ICT. For professional women engineers in Nigeria, the day seeks to recognize the importance of empowering girls and young women in the field of information and communication technology and appreciate the legacy of late Fumilola Kikilomo Olajade in the advancement of women in STEM fields.
While we are celebrating the achievements of girls and women in ICT, I urge us all to reflect on rededicating ourselves to the cause of gender equality and empowerment. Let us work together to build a future where every girl, regardless of her background or circumstances, has the opportunity to pursue her dreams and make her mark on the world.
We've unveiled this. It will be a yearly program, and it's going to be a scholarship program for the young girls to encourage them, the people in public secondary schools.
I wish to encourage the larger female society in other respective fields to also become more deliberate in mentorship.
They say girls and women must be exposed to women in leadership positions to foster friendship, aspiration, and break barriers that hinder their progress in ICT. Hamman Jabani, NTA News.
10 of the 118 inmates reported to have escaped from the medium security custodial center in Suleja, Niger State on Wednesday during a downpour have been recaptured. Abdullahi Suleimani Yaju reports that spokesperson for the Federal Capital Territory Command of the Nigerian Correctional Service, Adamu Duza, in a statement disclosed that the Wednesday night rainstorm ravaged parts of the prison, paving the way for the escape of the inmates. The statement adds that the command, in collaboration with other security agencies, apprehended 10 of the fleeing inmates while raising concerns over the weak walls of the facility, which he said were built during the colonial era. Francis John, Controller of Corrections, FCT Command, also urged the public to carry on with their normal activities as the service makes frantic effort to ensure that all aging facilities give way to modern ones. And next is Friday's weather forecast. Thank you for watching the news on NTA International. On behalf of Ruth Ozoma, who's been on sign language, this is Nancy Godiangonihu thanking you.